okay, she's going to crack a beer. She's going to do the thing where she goes,
Yeah.
Oh, that made me cringe. And like, I get that that's the point, but like, I still
what do you like, Jay?
The old tool. Mari Crombo Weebs. My name is Cole. His name is Mike. His name is Jay. We like anime, and this is episode 230 of AniPro. Yep. There you go. And on this week's episode, we are reviewing the classic, celebrated anime, Neon Genesis Evangelion. To be clear, we're reviewing the anime, the 26 episode anime
that aired in 1995.
Evangelion.
Neon Genesis Evangelion and Evangelion and none of the movies, none of the subsequent movies. We are taking the anime as it is. Reviewing that.
I think Cole and I have seen End of Evangelion. Jay, did you end up watching End of Evangelion? Because it's I
was told not to. So
okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm curious then. That brings up a question for later on.
I agree.
Okay.
I will preface this. We're going to be talking about Evangelion this whole episode, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But we're not going to, if you haven't seen it, don't worry. We're not going to spoil it for you. I would almost posit, like, if you haven't seen Evangelion, I don't know that it's spoilable, to be honest with you, because like the ride itself is so crazy. Like, I don't know what I could tell someone that would make it them not, you know?
Yeah, it really is. It really is an anime that's about the journey. The destination, I mean, you know, Evangelion's famous for being very cerebral at the end. So,
and also, like what
confusing.
Even is a fact about Evangelion?
Yeah. So,
like how it is. So
we will strive to not spoil anything, but I wouldn't be too concerned about it anyway. Yeah. But also, it's an anime that came out like 30 years ago. So
yeah, it's in its 30th anniversary celebration right now. So
there are a lot of things this year that are kind of in their big anniversary celebration this year.
Yeah, there's always something though. Every year there's always something. Yeah, next year is like 50th anniversary of Star Wars. Next year.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. But I feel like the mid 90s is where like a lot of like anime and like weeb type stuff really started kicking off a lot, and like video games kind of like really blasted off into like a new way that like that they didn't before that. So like I bet you there's like probably a
stratosphere.
Yeah, into the what do they call it in the bathysphere or whatever the heck they call it in Evangelion. I forget what they're talking about.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. They use so many technical mumbo jumbos that are truly mumbo jumbo in this show that I just make up a word and it's probably used in the show. So. Probably.
Yeah, there's a lot. But yeah, Mike alluded to it. I think this whole episode is basically going to be an ode to Evangelion. Our second half is going to be the review proper. But the first half, like, it's such a huge topic, Evangelion. I think we kind of want to just talk about like its cultural impact on anime and gaming and just generally the wider world, you know, like it's such a huge property. So I'm not even concerned about what's on your guys' mind, because I know what's on your mind. Evangelion is what's on your mind.
Trying to finish a 26 episode show in a week. That's on our mind.
In a week? Oh, I had to finish it in 2 days. 2 days.
Oh,
yeah. I did it in 3.
Okay. A little better.
Okay. I did it in 3, I think. I did like the first 5 episodes in like during my work days, and then like I really got to the weekend and I was like, well, I didn't make as much progress as I hoped I would, so I guess I gotta buckle down now.
Yeah.
Did you guys find it was it a good binge or not?
Yeah.
Just as a quick aside to that.
Yes and no.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. For me it was, but because like I mean, not to spoil my thoughts for the end of the episode, but like I kind of like rediscovered Evangelion all over again, and just had a good time watching it. So it was fairly easy for me. But I kind of like these like one of the major issues people have with Evangelion, like I really like, which is a specific topic that we'll talk about in the second half. So that's what we in the industry call a tease. Yeah. So I'll talk about that, but. Yeah, I thought it was an easy watch, but Jay, you said it was a yes and no. So
yeah, it's difficult to talk about without like getting into my overall thoughts on the show. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on it, but
yeah, well, we can just leave that as a tease. Then we can just leave that as a tease. Mike, as your tease, did you have an easy or hard time watching it?
The first time I binged it, like I can remember when I first watched it, and I remembered I pretty well binged it then too. Mm-hmm. I will say that time I was basically like half watching it on my one, doing the thing where you can kind of like watch it and like play on your phone at 2 at the same time, or like play a game or something. Mm-hmm. This time I like actually watched it, like watched it raw dog style, you know, the way God
like you gave it your full attention.
Yeah. I watched it au natural, you know. Mm-hmm. And yeah, both ways, I thought the binge was good, honestly. I feel like this one works quite well as a binge because it's pretty, there's a lot going on, and like if you're not paying attention, it slips by. So
for sure. But what like I guess the obvious place to start with Evangelion would be like kind of what has it influenced? Like what do you see having watched Evangelion? Because now we can finally talk about it. I know for sure all three of us have watched it to completion. Mm-hmm. Like what do you think when you watch an help me.
You know what? Maybe to like help like jog your memory, I'm just gonna like remind you what the show is kind of like about, and you can tell me what you like think of as influences.
Sure,
you know?
Sure. Yes.
Like maybe that'll jog your memory a little bit. Like basically, unless it's a little behind the curtain, this is also helping the listener if they haven't watched it. Mm-hmm. So like basically the world ended. And then, like 15 years later, after the world-ending event happens, like these kids
in the far distant future of 2015.
Yeah, I thought that was funny too. Yeah. Oh, the far distant.
The world ended in the distant future, the year 2000.
2015. Yeah.
Flight of the
Which was 5 years after this aired, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then 2015 is 20 years after this aired. So that at the time was pretty crazy. And honestly, 2015 was a pretty crazy year for us too in the real world. But like there's these giant creatures called angels. There's a lot of like religious symbolism.
Really? I didn't
in Evangelion.
I didn't pick up on that.
No, that's very interesting. With all the crosses and references to Dead Sea Scrolls and Lilith and Eve and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, basically these giant monstrosities known as angels are attacking humanity. But like the only thing that they can fight back with are these things called Evangelions, which are these like big like robot things. I think a lot of people think of Evangelion mostly as a mecha. And it is definitely a mecha, but like there's a lot more to it than just big robots bashing on big monsters. It's like
I think if you go into it expecting a traditional mecha show, there's a chance you might be disappointed, honestly.
Yeah.
Depends which mecha you're super into, but yeah, it definitely veers a lot more into like the psychological aspects of like, I saw a thing that Hideaki Anno, the creator of this, was basically like, when he made it, he was like, I'm going to make a show that really shows what would happen if a 14-year-old boy was forced to save the world in a giant robot. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, what if he was also really depressed like me too? And that's like basically what Evangelion is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then he was just like, let's just throw all of the religious symbolism into it that I can, just to also muddy the picture and make things super confusing.
Like I know like
it looks cool.
Yeah, Evangelion is like listed as like a mecha anime. But like it almost isn't even a mecha anime.
I almost wouldn't even say it is.
I'm like, it is.
So, I was going to come into this with like a super hot take and say Attack on Titan is more of a mecha show than Evangelion is.
Equivalent, levels. I would say. Yeah.
I'd say equivalent.
Like there's a lot of Evangelion where like Shinji, like I know the meme, getting the robot, but like Shinji isn't in the robot. Like it's more it's a lot more of like a psychoanalysis of the characters than it is
I want to say something, but I feel like it spoils a lot of how I feel about a certain thing.
Okay,
but like,
well, put a pin in it.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess the big elephant in the room though is like, this is like, you say Evangelion, everyone knows it. It's 30 years later. This obscure, like psychological, crazy mecha anime from the 90s that has like arguably one of the most confusing endings of all anime is still relevant. You go to cons, you still see people cosplaying as this. It's getting it literally just got announced like the other day that it's getting a collab with Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah,
it's like this anime will not die. It will never die, and it's
an institution. It is.
Yeah, it's a giant mech in the industry of anime, and it's good that we're talking about it. I like it.
Yeah,
and like you guys, like Jay said, I kind of want to actually use that as a segue into the inspiration side, because that you saying it's not really a mecha to me, I agree with you, and I actually would say it's a lot more. If you strip out all of like the psychological and like character introspection stuff in this, it really is like a tokusatsu. Like half of it just feels like Godzilla, or like a big Evangelion fighting a Godzilla monster. Like honestly, like it's tokusatsu fights the whole way through.
That's an Anno thing. Like Anno is like famously into which one did he do? Was it Ultraman? Yeah,
I think he likes Ultraman.
Didn't he also do a Godzilla movie?
Yeah, he did Shin Godzilla as well.
Yeah,
he's like he like grew up like as a massive whatever those movies are called. I was going to say Tonkatsu. I was going to say Tonkatsu.
Yeah, Tonkatsu. Probably also a massive Tonkatsu fan. But that part, like, I don't know.
Those were like his, as a kid, like those were his major influences. So like
for sure,
for him to become an animator and make this, like it's pretty similar. But just kind of going back to the mecha thing in general, overall, like there's like when you think of like good mechas, like the celebrated mechas, like a lot of them have like more to it than just like giant robots, you know? Which,
I think that's
like
this falls into any genre though, right? Like, yeah, but I'd agree. Like when I think of mecha, there's kind of like two camps, and like the one I fall into is the real robots camp. And this is more a deconstruction of the super robot genre, which is like the Ultramans and the Grandizers and the Mazingers and all the Zers and Megazords and stuff like that, where it's like it's less about like Gundam is like they'll be like talking about like, oh, we need to fix the like mechanical parts of this Gundam, or there's this certain drive unit that we need for it to work or whatever. Like there's actually people turning wrenches on these things. Evangelion is just like, oh yeah, this is a machine for sure, but it's powered by like mystical mumbo jumbo, so don't worry about it. Right? Like,
yeah,
it's definitely a super robot show.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Genre.
But like what I was alluding to was like the thing with Gundam is they're mecha shows, yes, but like they're more war dramas. That's what they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is a mecha show, sure, but it's more a character study into like the psyche of all these characters. So I guess what I'm saying is like the good mechas are more than just big robots smashing each other.
But like, I mean, I feel like because stuff like Gundam, I'd also throw like Code Geass and even Attack on Titan in there as mech. Like they all follow that same war drama. I don't want to say vibe, but like genre, I suppose, or subgenre. So like I feel like the mecha genre is kind of closely associated with that war drama subgenre.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because mechas are the coolest when they're essentially machines of military,
of war.
Yeah. That's when they're coolest.
I agree with you, Cole, but like the majority of mecha is more like Megazords and Transformers. Like
the majority of
big
them.
Super robots, I would say. But like really when it's
the
best,
coolest is, your Gundams.
There's some weird shady government entity building these big robots for like nefarious reasons, and then some young poor child has to pilot them. That's
when it's at its best.
That is what makes mecha good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But like what are some influences you see? Like when obviously this show is very celebrated, so like what do we see in more modern takes of this?
I have one, but I also have a joke one that I kind of laughed at.
Go ahead. It's an open discussion, and you can.
Yeah. I'll go with the like real one, and then I'll go with the silly one after that. But the real one, I would say like just kind of like serious anime in general. Evangelion kind of like kickstarted this idea that anime can be more than just silly characters being silly, but can actually be like mature and adult.
Yeah, that's one thing. Like with this is like it gets like surprisingly mature towards the end.
Yeah. And like to the point where I was kind of like thinking, I'm like, this aired on TV. That's kind of crazy. I will say that like I can hear in the back of my mind someone's watching this who's a huge Evangelion fan, and they're like, oh, you know, there was like mature anime before this and like Ninja Scroll and all that stuff. But like, I think before Evangelion, those were mostly like OVAs, and like you'd go to like the corner store and buy those like home videos and stuff like that. I think Evangelion really pushed like this mature and serious anime genre, like this style, to the forefront, to the point where it was like, oh, this can do well on TV and prime time, and like people will watch this. It's not just for like some weird guy in a basement to watch. This is a popular thing people want, and I think that's a good take, Jay. I'd say.
And like, you know, it was marketed as a shonen anime, right? But it wasn't like afraid to get into some like, again, there's one scene in particular where two adults are having adult
that's what I was thinking of too. Yeah,
it doesn't show anything, but like it's like
I mean, hey, if you were to watch that show blasting with your parents in the room, you'd be a little uncomfortable.
I'll put it this way: if you were listening from the other room, you wouldn't know it doesn't show anything.
Yeah,
I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
It's, especially in the end of Evangelion movie. Whew.
Well, end of Evangelion's a whole other thing.
I know. Yeah,
it's a whole other can of worms.
It's a movie. Yeah.
It was not afraid to steer into that, and I think people appreciated that, and that's why it was so well received and so well celebrated.
Especially like in the era that it came out of, like it came out in the West in like the 2000s. Probably people were watching this, and then like in the mid 90s, it was just like grunge was a thing. Kind of people were tired of this like glitz and glamour, and they were ready for something kind of like raw and emotional and like heavy, you know. And I think it kind of just hit at the right time, and that's part of why it took off so much. Jay, you did say you have a joke one too. I'm kind of curious, and before you say it, I will say that like I know you're like downplaying it because it's a joke, but I think like joke references totally are like a valid thing. Like for example, like in Gurren Lagann, if they reference Evangelion by having the big robot do a silly pose, that's still a reference. That's still cultural impact. It shows that it was an influence on the creators, right? So
but at the same time, this one I don't think either of you guys thought or would see coming or would even think to see coming.
Try me,
God.
Okay, deep fried memes.
No, I didn't see that coming.
Please elaborate.
So there's in episode like 25 or something, like one of the like very late episodes, there are these shots of Shinji that look like very, very similar to like deep fried memes.
Oh yes. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Was this where it came from?
Honestly, maybe because like there's a lot of Evangelion really has like a lot of memes in it.
Well, there's like, that, but like also just like the fact of like most of the people that like were kind of what originated the original memes on the internet were anime fans.
Yeah,
and so like
I'm like
creative types are generally fans of Evangelion from what I've noticed too. So like it genuinely wouldn't surprise me if like deep fried memes inadvertently comes from Evangelion, because it's like all those like weird Shinji faces and stuff. It's like I see it, Jay. I see it. You're onto something with that,
man. That was
1995. They did that.
Yeah,
it's
just
funny.
Like it.
Go ahead, Jay.
It just looks like it like 1-to-1 almost with like a deep fried meme.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, like, it's funny now watching this again, being like much deeper into the anime community, just how many memes come from Evangelion.
Oh, I know.
Like almost every time Asuka comes on screen is like a screenshot that I recognize from like a meme.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. Or like
I mean the just like the congratulations scene is
congratulations, Shinji coffee cup.
Shinji in the chair.
Shinji in the chair.
Yeah. The one I literally forced my wife to watch with me, because I'm like, watch this. This is like a famous meme. Was the elevator scene with Rei and Asuka. and how it just like lasts forever.
It lasts
and then
forever.
All of a sudden they just blast into an argument. And I was like, I've seen so many edits of that where it's like them just standing there, then all of a sudden one of them says something absolutely absurd. And it's
my favorite one of those is where they're talking about how they had Yahtzee on their Xbox, and then Asuka's like, everyone had Yahtzee on the Xbox.
Yes. Yeah.
Or where Asuka's yelling at her and the sound is just yeah.
Oh man, there's so many good ones.
Memes,
and then Gendo.
Memes.
Gendo is just so memeable in general too. Like Shazana said to me, like, is he self-conscious about his mouth or something?
He's pondering.
Gendo is a character. My first thought while watching this time was Gendo would be a lot less charming if he didn't have his glasses. Because your first introduction to him is him in his classic Gendo pose with the like white eyelids or like the white sheen on his glasses. Mm-hmm. If you weren't wearing glasses, that would be a lot more lame.
Yes,
it would look scarier maybe, but like because he's literally you can barely see his face because he's covering his bottom half of his face, but then his glasses are just shining, so you basically don't see him at all, which is like kind of good foreshadowing.
It's a mask. He's wearing a mask. I mean. You know, you get it. You understand. Yeah. Again, like I don't want to get too into the review proper, but like some of the character stuff after a rewatch, like I have a different take on different characters.
Me too. Honestly, as a rewatch, I saw a lot of stuff. I was like, wow, I'm seeing so like, and I'm actually like understanding the show, which was like, which is huge. But the thing I will say, I want to throw out as like a impact on anime and culture in general for this show is that like before Evangelion, I don't know that you could buy an anime character toothbrush or pair of socks or like car dash or like steering wheel cover. Like Evangelion is by far the king of merchandising. And I think a lot of anime would love to be Evangelion when it comes to selling things to people. I watched a video where someone determined whether or not you could literally live off of only Evangelion merchandise. Mm-hmm. And yes,
he did. Yeah. It is weird because like there's nothing inherent about Evangelion that makes it like that.
Yeah, isn't it weird? Like of all the things to be like a marketing masterpiece,
but it just works. I guess like there is something to it. Like, you know, they're super unique mechs. You know, waifu war galore in Evangelion. Like, you know, the
character designs are pretty iconic.
People have been arguing Rei versus Asuka since the show came out, right? And we all know the correct answer.
Yeah, Misato,
the patron saint of...
Sorry, what?
Ritsuko?
Oh, of course,
get out of here.
Get out of here. Boo. We're going to say Ritsuko's mom. Really like what she did in the show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't blame her, you know?
Man. Just choke up thinking about it. That's all.
Anyway. Yeah, you know, it's...
Yeah.
But like, there's not many... can you name another anime? Like,
no.
That even remotely comes close to the merchandising of this?
Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon would probably be the next closest, which is weird because it came out like the same time almost.
Pokemon started off as a multimedia thing where Evangelion was just like an anime. That's all that it was.
Yeah.
And now it's turned into this, you know, pachinko machines and movies.
Well, I think it started out as a game, but yes.
Yeah, games and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's it evolved from just a singular anime, whereas Pokemon evolved from it being designed as a multimedia thing.
Yeah.
So it is unfair. It's unfair to compare the two, and you're right. I don't think that anything is comparable then.
Like, I think they all want to try. Like, you go to Hot Topic or something, and they're trying. They're putting like Deku on like lunch boxes and everything, but like, I don't think that you'd have the level of like craziness. I don't think you'd have Deku on a lunchbox if Eva didn't do it first. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think that they like blew up. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
I also don't think you'll have Deku on a lunchbox in like 2046, for example.
That too.
Right.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say Evangelion has done a very good job of making sure that it's constantly in the zeitgeist, you know?
Weirdly, though. Like, how?
With the rebuild movies.
Well, yeah, there's the rebuild movies. It keeps getting sequels and like it's getting a sequel, I think, again, like this year.
Yeah, I don't know what that's supposed to be, but I don't know.
Let me take you. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I'll let you finish before I go off on a rant.
Oh, I was just going to complain about, I thought the end of the rebuild movies was a good swan song. They should have left it, but that's not how you maintain your stranglehold on merchandising.
Cole, how are you supposed to sell more merchandise if you don't have a main product to spin it all off of?
Were they having a problem selling merchandise? Didn't we just discuss that they weren't having that problem?
Well, what the first rebuild movie came out in I don't know.
Well, End of Evangelion came out in 98. But like, the first rebuild movie came out,
I want to say 2015, maybe. While you guys are looking that up, I'll go off on my rant.
Rant away.
One of the big things that I think is kind of crazy about like how the merchandising and how this is so popular 30 years later is that like in the West, you could not watch Evangelion in a way that was legal.
Yes.
Or like really even accessible.
Yes.
Until 2019.
Yes.
Between I want to say 2000 probably is like the last, like, that's probably when it was like still available. But like, unless you could get a hold of a DVD copy on Amazon for like, or eBay for probably an obscene amount of money, it was, you had to hope that it was on YouTube somewhere. It was just not available. So it's crazy to me that it's like hype and legacy has lasted this long because it truly was obscure. Like, how do you get more obscure than 20 years of unavailability?
Obscure, but not obscure at the same time. Like,
isn't that
again,
weird?
Evangelion is like a unicorn. By the way, the rebuild movie started in 2007.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's considering it was completely unavailable, and I remember because I was an Evangelion
I remember that
fan.
too. I remember. Yeah.
I was unable to like watch it legally.
Apparently that was because the ADV dub, like they went under and then the rights got like in purgatory somewhere.
It always is. Same thing with Macross. You can't watch Macross in the West.
Yeah.
You can only watch Robotech, but somehow
like the piracy community is a lot bigger than you think it is.
So like, I'm well aware it's big. Yeah.
I watched the show before I was able to technically watch the show.
People are still watching the show. It's just they weren't making any money off of it.
Yeah, but somehow like yes, piracy is a thing, and you'll still get people to be able to watch it. But to be honest, most people, if they're unable to watch something, they just won't watch it. And somehow Evangelion was still able to maintain a place in like the culture for people to watch and still like discuss it. It's not like after Netflix got the rights to Evangelion that it like blew up again. It was big before that in the West.
Yeah. And like when it came out on Netflix, I remember there was like two narratives that were going off, and most of them were, I think most people were like, oh yeah, I can finally watch Evangelion. It's like actually accessible. There was quite a few people who were just upset because the dub changed some stuff. And it's like, whatever.
And also
that is a different argument.
Was changed.
Well,
yeah, they couldn't get rights to Fly Me to the Moon or something.
We were talking about that before. Like, I mean, it would have been nice to have it because it is iconic, but like really,
it changes the entire dynamic of the show, actually.
Okay.
Nothing feels...
Okay,
no, I'm kidding.
Explain.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
I'm sure like what happened is like, I could just picture the Netflix boardroom when they were like figuring out, they're like, okay, we're licensed. We have to redub the whole show because we can't get the original dub. And then someone's like, they want $2 million for the ED insert song that most people are going to skip anyway. And the guy's like, well, I think we could use a different song probably then, hey?
They're like, but someone will complain about it. Okay.
Is it worth $2 million to me? And that's probably how the math worked out, you know?
It's the thing is like, I'm going to be honest with everybody. You would have watched it once and been like, haha, awesome. there's not much going on in that ED to hold your attention through the whole ED.
It's the antithesis to the Cruel Angels thesis. I'll say that much.
Which, I mean, we could talk about there. Like, I could say that that's one of the influences you see until today is the OP to Neon Genesis Evangelion. Kind of changed the game with openings.
Actually, honestly,
like openings, of course, were always like, well done. Like, I'm not going to say like there was pre-Evangelion and post-Evangelion, but it kind of turned the OP into like this thing that we discuss, you know?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, Jay, what do we do when you and I hang out?
OP quizzes?
Like, I don't think that would have like, take the YouTube equation out of it. I don't think that would have been happening prior to Evangelion. People weren't like, did you see the OP for, I don't know, Dragon Ball Z? Like,
I mean,
like Head Shell Eye is cool, but like,
it's still pretty cool.
No.
Still pretty iconic.
But like, I don't think people discussed it in the same way. Where like Evangelion, like, there kind of is a pre-Evangelion and a post-Evangelion. Because like nobody really like goes back and like analyzes like these obscure OPs. Do you know what I mean? From before
I agree with
Evangelion?
you. I was gonna push back on you actually when you said there's like you originally said there's not a pre and post Evangelion in the OP world, and like as soon as you said that, I'm like, there kind of is though, because
what I meant though was like in terms of quality. It's not like people didn't put effort into opening sequences before Evangelion. They did, and they made good openings. But in the culture, there's a pre and post Evangelion. I would say.
What I would say is that like, I don't know that people were making as artistic and bombastic simultaneously OPs. I don't know if that was a thing, honestly, as much before Evangelion. I don't
know, man. The Ranma 1/2 OP is pretty cool.
Like the original one?
Yeah.
In like the same way where like it has a lot of like, what's the word for it? Like, there's a lot of imagery, and there's a lot of meat to the Evangelion.
No, but
OP,
like it's still like visually creative and fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's just like, not to mention what I've said about like this pre and post, but like things that other OPs since then have aped off of Evangelion, you know, the famous like superimposed images of characters being floating over the other characters, and like there's lots of stuff that Evangelion did that now other openings ape off of.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I'm sure the Ranma 1/2 opening is a lot of fun, but there's levels to this, Jay. I'm sorry. Evangelion to this day is still...
I also think you're a little bit biased towards Evangelion because you think it is the best OP ever made.
Yeah. Probably, but like, I think there's a strong argument
ahead of it. Yeah,
I think there's a strong argument for it though. Like, it's not...
I don't know. I feel like there are shows that have done what Evangelion's done just a little bit better. I'm not saying it's bad.
I wouldn't put those words in your mouth, because you'd get a fist in your mouth if you said that.
He'd put those words in your mouth with his fist.
I think to say like it's the best OP ever made might be a stretch, but it's good. It's definitely good.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying.
I think it's in the tier. It's in the tier for sure.
It's an S tier OP.
Yeah.
Among other S tier OPs. Agreed?
Yeah.
I'd put it in
doesn't
A,
matter
but
if he agrees or not. Yeah.
But it doesn't matter because I'm outvoted.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're not voting on anything. There's no vote here.
Knuckle sandwich, Jay.
Yeah.
That's what my vote is.
A tier is a good ranking.
It's not as good as S. It should be up there with Production IG.
Nerds. You squabbling nerds.
Production IG is a B tier studio. What have they done for me lately?
Is there any other impacts on anime and the culture that you two would like to discuss as well? Because I have a few more that I kind of think that that rippled out from the Evangelion sphere.
I mean, really just getting into like the psyche of the characters. It was done before this, of course, but like, you know, Madoka Magica kind of thing, where it's like, it's it starts off as kind of, this is a mech, this is a magical girl show, but in reality it's more character based and digging into the psyche of the characters, which in a shonen or shoujo anime I don't think was really done as often as it was up until Evangelion. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I was just giving Jay room to respond there, but I do think it popularized it. I think it was done before this, like where it, but I don't think there was as many popular anime that did that before Evangelion. I think Evangelion kind of started I think it started a lot of character archetypes, or at least popularized them. Like you can always go back and find like, oh yeah, there was a tsundere before Asuka. But right? But like having these like deeply flawed characters and like diving deep into their psyche, like you're saying, I think is kind of Eva's one of its biggest contributions to the industry, honestly, because it's kind of in keeping with our first one we talked about, which is just like how having the mature themes and being kind of a little more psychological and philosophical at the same time, by like creating these character archetypes and then diving deep into the psyche of a character who would be like that and who is also in this crazy situation and is also like a teenager. I think that's probably one of its biggest impacts, because like how many Shinji clones where there's the reluctant protagonist who doesn't want to be a hero were there after this?
Yeah.
How many kudereis like Rei were there after this, like
blue-haired kudereis specifically.
Blue-haired kudereis, yeah.
Twin-tailed tsundere as well. It built archetypes. The thing too about Shinji, just before we kick it off to Jay, see what he has to say. Like before Shinji as well, like the shonen protagonist, even if he was like upset, again, it happened in Gundam, Amuro Rei would get upset, but like the whole message about it was like he had to tough it out. He had to like grin and bear it kind of thing, where like Shinji is like a sensitive kid who like you didn't see that.
Grin and bear it.
Yeah. You didn't see that.
I will say though, like he is told just grin and bear it a lot in the show.
Oh, yeah. Right. Which is like a discussion about,
which is a bad thing. Like I think in this, and this is kind of more of a review thing. The grin and bear it message is more of a bad thing in this show than it is in others. I think is the point you're trying to make.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like in Gundam, it was like, isn't it cool how Amuro can just grin and bear it and go through with it? Well, like, what if you're not that kind of person? Like I'm not sometimes, lots of people aren't. And it was really the first of its kind to just show a character in a shonen who is kind of a sensitive kid. And it's more common now because this kind of set the path, I think.
Yeah. And I do think that that's one of the things that, when we were talking about its influences and inspirations, I think Anno definitely watched the original Gundam, because
of course
you instantly brought up Amuro, and Amuro's Amuro walked so Shinji could cry, No,
like, of course. Like even if you asked him, I'm sure he would. And like, but Hideaki Anno created the Anno clone like a few years before with Gunbuster. Like the main character in Gunbuster is basically a female Amuro, who's kind of that like go-getter, tough, like can overcome just with her spirit kind of thing. Kind of your more standard shonen protagonist in female form.
Yeah,
of course.
But like going back to
great, go watch.
Check that out. Like Jay was saying though, like Gundam was from a different time, definitely, because like I don't think like there's the famous scene in Gundam where like Amuro gets like slapped by his boss basicly for being essentially doing what Shinji's doing, and I feel like if Gendo did that to Shinji in this, it probably would have had a very different message than it does.
I mean, in one of the earlier episodes, Rei does slap Shinji for basically that.
Oh,
and it's
Shinji takes a
treated more as,
beating
like,
from multiple people.
Yeah, Shinji gets beat up quite a bit, actually. Let's be real. The first time I watched this, I was like, oh, Shinji's such a whiny brat. And like, on this rewatch, I was definitely like, man, that kid's got it real tough.
It plays it on its face too, right? Like,
oh, absolutely.
Misato's like, people are going to thank you for this, Shinji. Good job. Cut to Shinji getting punched in the face because they weren't that thankful for what he did.
By the way, that little bit of the anime, I really enjoyed that on the second rewatch because I was like, oh, that's like kind of like a cool like side effect of battle that you just probably wouldn't think about, that they wouldn't show in like the normal real robot show. Is that?
But it's something we think about now, right? Like the famous thing people always bring up with that Superman movie is how much collateral damage was caused by Superman.
Yeah, or like the Marvel movies, right?
Or the Marvel movies where like before it was like, who cares? There's cool explosions, bro.
Yeah.
But now
it's like, no, some little sister might have died. And I do think like that's probably the last one I can think of that is like kind of one of Evangelion's contributions to anime and kind of filmmaking in general, is I think it also sort of set off this like renaissance of like the deconstructions of genres.
Yeah.
Because at its heart, it's a deconstruction of the super robot genre.
Deconstruction, but also subversion.
Yeah. That's kind of two sides of the same coin, I would say.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, you're right, Jay. Please continue.
Because Anno, like that was kind of one of the things that he was known for a little bit, at least from what I've researched, is that he loves to subvert genres, and this was just that.
Yeah. He also loves trains.
Does he? He also loves apparently loves like old warships.
Yeah,
so
he named all the main characters
are named
after warships. Yeah,
young me would love to have a conversation with
Hideaki
Anno over trains and hot milk. I love hot milk.
Hot milk?
I loved hot milk as a kid. Yeah.
What? Where did hot milk come from? Did he like hot milk?
Because I'm talking about young me.
No. Did he say he liked hot milk?
No. I'm saying I would like hot milk.
Oh, you would have discussed trains over a glass of hot milk. Okay, I thought you were discussing trains and hot milk.
No. I said over hot milk.
That makes sense.
But like, also, I think he'd probably be like, "What is this hot milk?"
Hey man, hot
Jay'd
milk.
Be like, "Listen, you put me onto some things.
It's a thing.
You put me onto some things, I'll put you onto some things."
It's a thing. I think any of us, the older any of us, would also enjoy a conversation with Hideaki Anno.
And hot milk.
and hot milk.
I feel like the hot milk's going to make me real gassy. That'll be a problem.
Hot milk is apparently very good to help you fall asleep.
I have heard that. I remember I remember that was a thing.
Yeah. Never tried it, but
I don't know if I particularly enjoy talking to Hideaki Anno, to be real with you. I don't know about that.
I think he'd be a very interesting person to
He seems in like I put him in like the gold, like there's like the big three of grumpy anime, hugely influential anime people who hate anime and just kind of seem like curmudgeons. Him, Miyazaki, and Tomino, who made Gundam. They all hate their creations and just
it's also really funny because legacy. I saw a thing where Miyazaki said that Anno was a filthy foreigner or something like that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they like Anno worked with Miyazaki quite a bit in his early years.
Yeah,
but I think that might be an image that people have of Anno. I don't think he hates his things that he makes. He hates the fact that he sees himself in them, which says
that's what he said.
Yeah, which says something more about like himself. So
well, at the same time, as a creative, most creatives will hate things that they've made just because like they're like, oh, it's not done. It's not like for a creative, nothing's ever done.
Especially Evangelion, where like it finished literally quite undone, where they like ran out of money essentially, and you can very much tell.
It's funny though. You watch the, I don't know if you guys watched the previews, but the preview going into episode 25 from episode 24 was all like rough art from the movie End of Evangelion.
Oh, cool. Interesting.
So like he knew
probably
he knew that
was probably,
go ahead.
They did a sorry. They redid a director's cut of the final 3 episodes. That's probably what that is. Yeah.
I was gonna. My interpretation was he knew that they were going to be doing the movie, because we'll talk about it in the review.
That's interesting. I genuinely wonder about that a little bit too. But as going back to my, like, I don't know if I'd want to talk to him. Like you said, the thing where I think it was Jay, where you said he doesn't like his things that he makes where he sees himself in them. And I like instantly gave me a flashback of a clip of him talking to like a middle school girl who's a huge fan of him, and she's like, what's your favorite, what do you like your blah blah blahs? And he's like, I really don't like the ones where I can see myself in them. And I'm like, man, you're talking to a little kid, you don't need to be a big downer to it. I don't know.
I don't think he's curmudgeon. Like I don't think he's a curmudgeon. I think he's just a very self-conscious individual. That's how I see Hideaki Anno. Like, I see him smile more often than I do someone like Miyazaki.
Miyazaki who never smiles.
Yeah.
I think he went to see his son's movie premiere once, and like
he walked out.
Yeah.
And then he walked
out of his son's quote.
Yeah. He put out a quote saying like, some things are meant to die, and Ghibli might be one of those things. It's like,
Jesus. He is the Gendo Ikari of.
He really is.
Yeah. Of animation. Yeah. Do we have a AniPro Asks though before we go into a break, Mike?
Yeah, we sure do. This is, as per usual, a true or false question. And this one's related to Evangelion, okay?
Go figure.
Might as well make the whole episode Evangelion. Why not, right?
Why not?
Okay. True or false? Operation Yashima, named after a famous scene in Neon Genesis Evangelion, or however you want to say it, was a viral 2011 Twitter campaign where anime fans attempted to purposely overload Tokyo's power grid by turning on all their appliances at once to protest the electric company's rolling blackouts. Let's see.
Never heard of
this. Is that true? Is that false?
Who would know?
Who would know? I don't know. You'll find out after this.
Break. We know.
We do know the answer.
Do we?
Yeah. No.
Thank you for listening to the first half of AniPro. We hope you enjoyed it. Hey, while we're on break, now's a great time to grab a snack before we get into the second half. I have a great suggestion for you too, with this episode's sponsors, Tokyo Treat and Sakurako. Experience Japan from the comfort of your own home through Sakurako and Tokyo Treat snack boxes. Tokyo Treat is a fun monthly Japanese snack box packed with limited edition sweets, Kit Kats, chips, noodles, and Japan-only treats that you won't usually find outside Japan. Every month, Tokyo Treat and Sakurako have a different theme. This month, Tokyo Treat takes you to Osaka, a city known for its vibrant food culture with its theme, Osaka Snacktacular. You'll discover snacks inspired by local favorites, from savory bites like octopus rice crackers and yummy yakisoba to sweet treats like mini sugar donuts, plus plenty more to enjoy and share with your loved ones. There are a ton of goodies to choose from, but one highlight I would have to recommend is the yummy yakisoba. It's nice to get a savory noodle dish in the box, and this month's noodles were a banger. Something different that really gave me the street food vibes. But if you're looking for something a little sweeter, might I recommend this box's Kit Kats. Each Tokyo Treat box comes with a special Kit Kat, but this month's box came with a salted caramel. I'm a sucker for caramel chocolate, so when I saw these were in the box, I had to eat them. They were the first thing I dove straight into when I opened the box, and let me just say, they didn't last for long. But if you're in the mood for something more traditional, our friends at Sakurako are here to deliver the goods. Sakurako is a monthly artisan Japanese snack box featuring 20 traditional seasonal sweets, Japanese tea, and an exclusive homeware item supporting local makers across Japan. The snacks are carefully curated and not the typical treats you'd find in Japanese convenience stores. This month, Sakurako takes you to Hiroshima, where nature, culture, and history come together with this box's theme, Heritage of Hiroshima. In it, you'll find delicious curated treats like a Setochi lemon cookie, Kyoho grape chocolate crunch, and strawberry bamu kuchen. All three of them pair super well with this month's traditional drink, Kudzu Yu. You also get a little piece of tableware each month, and this month, Sakurako provides a beautiful hand-picked ceramic, either a gorgeous indigo or mercury plate that almost looks too pretty to eat off of. But you know me, and I can't go without my sweets. Thankfully, Sakurako's got just the thing with their strawberry bamkuchen. This sweet treat has a strawberry paste kneaded right into the dough, giving it a moist texture and delicious flavor. I love Sakurako's pastries, and this one is no outlier. Every time I get one of their boxes, I'm consistently surprised at how moist and fresh tasting they feel, despite being packaged and shipped. A true testament of their quality. Both boxes ship globally and features a cultural booklet featuring snack descriptions, allergen information, and fun insights about Japanese culture. These booklets are always fun to check out if you want to learn more about what led to the snack theme, and also contains contests and other neat things to look for and learn about as you munch. But hey, don't just take my word for it. Make your day more special with Tokyo Treat and Sakurako's limited edition snacks and tea straight from Japan. Whether you're planning a cozy night in, a movie night with friends, the second half of an anime-themed podcast, or just treating yourself after a long day, these boxes are the perfect companion. Check out the latest offers in the link in the description and use code AniPro to get $5 off your first box. Once again, that's code AniPro. That is ANIPRO. After clicking the link in the description to get $5 off your first box. Huge thanks to Tokyo Treat and Sakurako for sponsoring this episode. Now that we've got our snacks, let's enjoy the second half of the podcast together, shall we?
Specifics. I'm taking
notes. You want me to check?
I'm taking notes.
Yeah, actually. And while Jay checks, welcome back to the episode. Jay's been taking notes. Cole's been
taking notes,
probably.
Taking notes on Jay's notes.
And
2 pages.
Travesty. Exactly 2 pages?
Exactly.
Completely
exactly
full?
2 pages.
Very good. Very good. Right. Front and back?
Good.
Well, it's it's just one side and the other side.
Well, you hesitated there.
So. You hesitated there. Very
okay.
Like, it's like, you know how on a book you have 2 pages?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One side, the other side.
Oh, okay. So 2 pages.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right.
It's not
Checks out.
Okay, gotcha. Checks out. Makes sense.
Yeah.
You're probably wondering the answer to the question that I asked before the break. Whether or not. Okay. That scared me. It was very aggressive. Operation Yashima, named after a famous scene in Neon Genesis Evangelion, was a viral 2011 Twitter campaign where anime fans tried to overload the power grid by turning on their appliances all at once. True or false? The answer is false.
Oh.
And not for the reasons you're thinking. Following the 2011 Tohoku earthquake, Japan faced severe power shortages due to damaged power plants. Namely, one named Fukushima, if you recall that name.
Mm-hmm.
To encourage citizens to conserve electricity, fans on Twitter launched an unofficial viral campaign dubbed Operation Yashima. The name was borrowed from Evangelion, where all of Japan's electricity is pooled together to power a single massive weapon.
I remember that scene.
I didn't know that that's cool that there's a real world counterpart to it. Again, with the influences thing. Literally, it's
a huge
There's an earthquake.
thing.
They lost power. They were like, we need to do the thing they did in Evangelion. Was the first thing they all thought of because they
We need to all stop using our power so that we can charge up this massive weapon to shoot at the which angel was it?
It was the pyramid one. I don't remember. Don't even ask me the names.
There's Ramael. There's Michael.
I'd love to
that's a real biblical angel name.
I know
they all are.
Yeah.
I'd
Jay,
love to do a deep
curious,
dive into what they are.
I'm curious to pick your brain about some of the religious symbolism because Jay went to a religious
upbringing.
So
I did.
I'm curious. I'm curious.
I did see one that I thought was kind of interesting, and that's that Kaoru, his actual angel name or something is the angel of indecision or something. I forget what it was. And it kind of makes sense when you
indecision ale.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
Yeah. Spear of Longinus. I guess that's the spear that speared Jesus on the cross.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what that actually was. I find Evangelion funny a little bit because like there's so many names of things, and everybody says every single one of them a little bit differently.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how to say.
I find it funny.
Is it Longinus? Longinus? I have no clue. They're probably both right.
Yeah.
It plays like that chorus opera during some of like the angel fights, and I couldn't help but laugh at those.
Really? Why?
Yeah. It was just silly.
Oh, I thought like there was something specific.
I thought it was like
saying
use the lyrics
wrong.
or something.
No.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Just like, yeah.
Well, since we're here and Jay's talking about laughing sillily, I think we should get into the review.
Yes.
And basically in the first half, we talked all about Evangelion. And it's outside of it, like the outside impact of it. Let's get into Evangelion. Let's talk about Evangelion.
Okay.
Neon Genesis Evangelion, specifically the 1995/1996 anime property consisting of 26 episodes available on Netflix in dub and sub. To lay the ground a little bit, I already kind of told you what it's about in the first half because I felt like it was good to give that background a little early this week. I think it made a little sense because we're going to talk about it for like the whole episode. I suggested this one as our listener's choice review, and you, the listener, selected it. And then we decided to move it above Jay graciously. He's nothing if not gracious. Said, you know what? I agree to move mine back because I kind of think we need to get the listeners what they voted on. And I think that was a good move. And here we are doing it. And just to kind of set the scene a little bit more, we each have our own very specific histories with Evangelion. And they're very different histories with it. And I think it's kind of good to start with that and kind of talk about like, before we talk about the show, let's kind of set up who we are in our relationship with Evangelion and what we kind of thought coming into this review. And I'll start, let's go in reverse order. Let's go Jay, let's go reverse AniPro order.
All right. So I watched Evangelion back in 2019 up to episode 16. And my main motivation to watch it back then was I heard it was like a psychological thing. I thought it was going to be a bit more thriller-y, which is kind of what excited me to it. And when I found out it wasn't that, I kind of was disappointed, so I dropped it. But this time, having seen those 16 episodes, I went in kind of knowing what it was, so I was ready to give it another chance.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then since I'm the middle of the order, I go next. I completed Evangelion and Evangelion once before. And then I tried watching the rebuild movies and just kind of for some reason couldn't get into them. Maybe it was too soon after watching Evangelion. And I guess now I've compounded that problem again. So I probably also wait a little bit longer to watch those. And I remember the first time my main impressions coming out of it were like mostly confusion. But like I was kind of like, I could tell it's good, but I can kind of like also tell that I didn't understand what the heck was going on half the time. So like I feel like I kind of just can't give it the like praise that everybody else is putting it on their like pedestal up here, and here I am down here as like this like Nimrod who's like looking at it like, I don't even know how you saw that. What are you talking about? And I feel like this time I was kind of excited to come into it and hopefully like kind of see it with more perspective and more analysis and kind of understand it a bit better. And honestly, I feel like I did. So cool. Give your little spiel.
Yeah, we work our way up the pyramid. I am an avid Evangelion fan, I would say. I've watched the anime a couple times, watched End of Evangelion, watched the rebuild movies. I have 2 of them above me. Read the manga. Read a bit of.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I have them. They're right here. There they are.
But I know you didn't read those copies.
Oh, yes, I did. I did. I
did you?
Those.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
And I read a little bit of some of the Evangelion light novel that's been released recently. the Shinji Ikari project. Like I'm a big time Evangelion fan. It's been a while since I watched the OG Neon Genesis Evangelion, so I was pretty excited to just have my rewatch and see if it still holds up for me. And like Mike, maybe Evangelion's one of those shows where you get more out of it with rewatches. So this being like my third watch of the show was probably my least confused watch. Even us longtime fans don't know what the hell's going on.
Honestly, like the last 2 episodes, it's like you watch the end of Evangelion and you're like, oh, this is supposed to explain it. And it's like, does it really? I don't know.
You see, the end of Evangelion is the external story. The last 2 episodes of Evangelion are an internal struggle in Shinji's mind. Both things are happening simultaneously.
Yeah, I know. I feel like if I showed my dad it, he'd be like, what the hell is going on? Which is my reaction when I first watched it.
Yeah. Of course. Don't show your dad that.
Yeah, he'd be very confused. He'd be very confused and angry, probably.
Probably.
Yeah, probably angry. He'd probably tell me to get in the robot, Mikey. At this point, I guess the next section that we should really dive into, and I unfortunately did not put much thought into this. I'm going to come up something off the fly. Is we usually like kind of give like a comparison or a recommendation of what we think, like either a show that is like this that you think if someone is familiar with Evangelion, maybe something you can recommend to them that they might like also, or the opposite of that, where it's like maybe they like this show. If they like that show, they might like Evangelion. And I feel like let's continue the reverse order. Jay, do you have one off the top of the dome?
I have 2 that I thought of for different reasons. Should I give both of them, or should I leave one to the wayside?
I'll give one of them now, just in case.
Then,
one
okay,
of us.
you can give the second one if we don't say it.
If it doesn't go around, then I'll So I'm gonna start with probably one that's a little obvious, and I'm gonna go with Serial Experiments Lane. I feel like for the psychological aspect of it, if you like Serial Experiments Lane, this is very, very similar to that. Also in the sense that like I feel like it's not upfront in what it's trying to tell you. And I think both are like that.
I think that's a great recommendation, Jay, especially because like on its surface, completely different shows. If you took the skeleton of Evangelion, the skeleton of Lane, like they're 2 completely different shows, but like the vibes and the message, they're kind of like the way it's delivered to you. So they're very similar. They're in the same pack of cards for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the middle one, so I get to go. I'm gonna go a little more from impact aspect. I think Akira, like the movie, which predates this by quite a bit. The reason I would go Akira is kind of so Jay covered the vibe aspect of it. I think that like the critical and cinematic masterpiece angle, I think people who really like film and really like creative storytelling and like just like very interesting visual things, that maybe like when I say really interesting visual things, sometimes I mean like it's very like triggery and like, and when I say triggery, I mean studio trigger. It's like bombastic and crazy and zany. Like Evangelion is much more muted than that, but like it's shot in very interesting ways cinematically. And I think Akira also hits a lot of those like gritty cinematic notes in the same way. Do you guys know what I'm kind of talking about with that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Visually, it's they have unique styles, but unique to them. I mean,
they're both kind of post-apocalyptics.
But they're
craziness going on.
In the Venn diagram, there's some overlap there, and I agree. Yeah.
Okay. By the way, just as a quick aside, if you have not read the Akira manga, it's really good, and it tells a much more complete story than the movie. Cool. What's your comparison or recommendation?
I'm gonna go with Madoka Magica. I think
good pick.
I think that's the one I'd go with. Similar in the sense that they're both kind of on their surface about one thing, which is kind of like a general story. So Mecha in Evangelion versus magical girls in Madoka Magica, but the characters are a lot more realistic in how they handle the situations that they're in, and there's more to everything than meets the eye. They're certainly not one for one, I would say, but there is, again, a lot of an overlap there, where I think Madoka Magica apes a lot of its style from Evangelion, I'll say. Storytelling style, I mean, specifically.
For sure.
Yeah, that's what I would go with.
And they also both share in being kind of like subversions / deconstructions of the genre that they represent as well, and like dark and very introspective versions of that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Jay, did we steal your second one in that list?
No, my other one was not taken. I feel like this one is a bit more on the nose with it, but I feel like Darling in the Franxx is a bit more of like, I would say kind of like a modern Evangelion for the most part. And when I say modern, I mean from the sense of like, it feels more like it was crafted for a modern audience, whereas this was crafted for like an audience back then, if that makes sense.
For sure.
But like it shares a very similar like, I don't want to say structure, but like very similar idea of like being a subversion of the mech genre. And how it uses those mechs also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then also like there's a character that like was not what meets the eye in it. That's like one of the main pilots. Yeah.
It's absolutely heavily inspired by Evangelion, and I bet you it's kind of like in this weird like pipeline of like the Evangelion, Gurren Lagann, Darling in the Franxx pipeline is what I think of, because there's kind of like there's a solid thread running between those three shows, I'd say.
Yeah. Yeah. They get some of them are better than others, though, I'll say.
Yeah.
Let's quick rank them. Let's rank them right now.
Evangelion, Darling in the Franxx, Gurren Lagann.
Evangelion top, probably Gurren Lagann, then Darling in the Franxx. Jay?
Darling in the Franxx second. We'll find out where the other two are.
Okay. All right.
I was gonna say he doesn't want to share. Doesn't want to share.
I don't want to share.
Yeah, no,
okay, that's fine.
That's okay. That's okay.
I think part of the fun too is
you were definitely the wild card in this one.
Yeah.
So I don't blame you. Yeah.
Part of the fun, I would think, as a listener too, is trying to figure out our final thoughts as we talk about it. And like, I feel like we telegraph it pretty good. So I would hope that they would probably have a pretty good chance of figuring it out by the end.
Yeah.
Although we do try to be a little more positive, even if we're low on the show, I do find, which is, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are optimists.
Yeah. Well, it's just,
one could say we are optimists prime.
Well, this is a why Evangelion is the worst show I've ever seen in my life. And thank you so much for watching.
Wow.
Or listening.
Wow. Okay.
Megatron over here.
What a character.
Even.
What a character Alphatron, Jay Garrity, and Sama is. Actually, why don't we talk about the characters in Evangelion? Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Okay.
Is the Japanese name also Neon Genesis Evangelion? I don't think it is.
Yeah,
I think
it is.
It isn't.
Shinsei.
Oh, yeah.
Evangelion. Yeah. Which means new something. Evangelion.
It is Evangelion, though. Galleon, not Jellion. I just want to point that out to people.
Yeah.
They say it in the show.
Evangelion, Cole. We've discussed this.
They say Evangelion in the show. They also say first children in the show, which I know sounds awkward, but they even say that in Japanese. They say
Shinji, that is
Shinji is second children. Yeah.
Isn't he third children? I thought
no.
Oscar's
first.
Third children.
Yeah, Oscar's third children. Yeah.
Because there's no zero children, but there's unit 0. That's where the
Rei is first children. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a big controversy behind the dub, because in the original dub they said first child, second child, third child.
Yeah.
But if you listen to the Japanese, they say in English first children, second children, third children.
Which is in keeping, because I did see a thing saying that like the Netflix new script actually was close, like it was essentially closer to the original script that they wanted to use before they basically localized it.
The one thing I'll say is I still think it's pronounced nerve, not nerve. But
I like Nerv because it just sounds funnier coming off the tongue.
Yeah, it does sound funnier coming off the tongue. I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, it's funnier saying, Misato Katsuragi, agent of Nerv. We're talking about the characters though, and we've kind of talked about a little bit of the characters here, and most of the characters in this are pretty deeply flawed individuals. I just kind of want to know like whose story resonated with you most, and like whose didn't. Basically, like this is okay. Which characters did you like, and which characters didn't you like?
Yeah.
And let's go with Jay off the top. I'm throwing it to Jay lots. I'm just gonna keep doing it. You know, when something's working, you just keep making that.
We gotta piece together what Jay's thinking.
I know. I'm curious what he's thinking too.
I feel like of the three of us, I am the most secretive of
for sure
whether or not I like this show.
Yeah, in this one for sure.
Also, in this specific instance, it's less fun to throw it to Cole and hear him say, "Oh, Misato, mommy, Misato."
Yeah, no, that's fair.
So
my favorite, I'll start with that, and I'll say like I think I resonated the most with Shinji, you resonated the most with the main character. How original? Look, being someone who can relate to a lot of how Shinji feels, really, really resonated with me, and like kind of seeing a lot of the characters kind of have a similar, like a similar struggle later on, kind of made me like everyone a bit more. But like Shinji kind of comes out of the gate with these struggles, and seeing him deal with them and all that was really endearing to me. So. Yeah.
I think that's kind of one of the genius things of Evangelion is that like it starts off with like Shinji being the only one kind of acting like that, and by the end kind of everyone's Shinji.
Well, I have a theory about that.
It's just everybody
in a little bit.
Everybody has problems, I think is what they're saying.
Yeah, and Shinji's just the only one who's kind of like wearing it on his sleeve, and I think that's kind of a lesson to be learned.
There is no like Ubermensch in the world. Even the angry German girl is not an Ubermensch.
Yeah. Even the dude who hides his face behind his hands and is pretty terrible has reasons why he's like that. Right?
Yeah. But at the same time, like, I don't think that just nothing Gendo behind Gendo really justifies his actions.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah.
He becomes more sympathetic, I'll say.
Yes.
But not I do not condone. Sympathetic in the sense that like I understand
where he's coming from.
I understand what he's doing. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I do not agree, especially as a father.
I can put myself. I can twist my brain into knots.
Something I literally said out loud during one of the scenes, like you don't deserve Shinji. Is one of the genuine thoughts I had with Gendo.
Yeah. And he doesn't want him
because like
and
and he doesn't want him, but like he does, like even if he did, he doesn't deserve him.
No, he's a terrible father.
Yeah, maybe one of the worst fathers.
He's not even a father.
Yeah, like, no, he's a sperm donor.
Almost.
Yeah.
So would that be your character you didn't resonate most strongly with then, Jay?
I'm going to say no, because I want to talk about another character.
I know where you're
knew going in I wouldn't like Gendo, and this I feel would make for a more interesting conversation. I hated Misato.
What?
I need you to explain.
Just like so like first of all, coming from the perspective that I really resonated with Shinji, there's like in the first episode or the second episode when Misato comes up to him and she's like basically she gives him like that be a man speech to get into the Evangelion, and like the water thing that comes in, he's like, oh, this smells terrible, and she's like, be a man, you're a big boy, you can take it. It's like, dude, he doesn't even want to be there.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
And then like she comes by after and she's like instead of like asking like, oh, are you okay, or like you did such a great job, or like, oh, thank you so much for doing this, she's just like, people will be proud of what you did. And it's like, show some like at least some kind of emotional maturity to realize that Shinji is in a very terrible state right now.
Oh, but that's the thing with Misato is she is not a mature person.
Oh, no, I know, but that's what makes me dislike her.
And I find it interesting too, because my read on Misato is she's essentially Shinji growed up. That's kind of my read on her. Basically? Is that she's someone who's she's been there, done that.
She's basically Shinji if he doesn't go through any like therapy or character development, which, to be fair, they all need therapy.
Oh God,
clear. Everyone needs therapy here.
This is also a post-apocalyptic world, so yeah.
Listen, if you're going to put these children in these mechs, first of all, they should have therapy. If the mech's ability to be operated is dependent on the mental state of these children, they should be in therapy.
Let's have a couple therapists on the roster, Nerv.
Yeah. Come on, Nerv.
Yeah. Cole, why is Misato your favorite character? Now that Jay said she was his least favorite character.
Like, no. Misato's my favorite character, obviously.
Okay.
I love Misato. Yeah. She's it's all Evangelion is almost the story of Shinji and Misato.
A little like
pretty well.
Okay. I took Misato as a bit of a mother figure for Shinji because like she's the one that like took him in. She was more of a mother to Shinji than Gendo ever was.
Yeah, she like objectively tries to be a mother for him. Yeah.
But then I also watched a clip from End of Evangelion and I was like, well,
yeah. That clip though,
End of Eve is weird. Yeah,
that clip though, she is literally just trying to trick him to get into the elevator.
Yeah.
Which again is. Listen. There's some,
but like
even in the anime, she does some stuff where it's like, what are you doing, Misato? Come on.
Let's put it this way: there's reason she was on trial last week on the AniPro podcast.
Yeah.
For endangerment of minors.
But she's been through a lot of trauma. Not an excuse, but she is also extremely damaged. Echoing what Jay said, the character I empathize the most with, though, is of course Shinji. I alluded to it already. Like, I relate to a lot of his internal thoughts as well. As I've grown older, thankfully, I've kind of I don't want to say matured out of it, but just my brain chemistry is altered in a way where I don't necessarily feel like laying in my bed for hours on end, thankfully. But
I think
I've been there.
I think medicating and stuff like that and just sort of like learning to work through your problems helps a lot with that.
Yeah.
Which is why Misato, to me, just feels like a grown-up Shinji, because she still deals with that. Like, it's still there.
She's functioning, but like not in a very healthy way. Like Misato is an alcoholic.
She's just kind of
she's self-medicates with alcohol.
She doesn't even really like
who would do
acknowledge that it's that like that trauma's still there really until like the end.
Yeah, exactly. But
she just kind of like shoved it down and went like, I'm fine.
As far as like characters that I don't relate to, and it's difficult. Not difficult, but it's kind of obvious because like she is unrelatable, and that's Rei. Like Rei is a unique case in her. Like, I don't want to spoil stuff about Rei. Like, I obviously don't I sympathize, but I don't relate with what she does and who she is, and kind of this like this questioning of self, because like, I don't know. I know who I am.
She's so robotic too that it's like hard to really get a read of her.
Yeah,
I felt like that questioning of self was really interesting.
Yeah,
like on a meta perspective, but like as a relation thing, I can get what you're
like. It's too far into it. There's scenes where you dive into Shinji's psyche where they're talking about like how everybody. You know, there's my version of me, there's Mike's version of me, there's Jay's version of me, and all of them are equally valid. But like Rei is like, she has like no sense of self at all.
Well, she's like, what is me? What am I?
Yeah, so it's too far in that.
Like she goes like, is man a man-made thing or is it a natural thing? It's like, whoa, hold on.
What are you talking about? You're 14.
Yeah,
I totally agree with that. I would say. Like, if I had to really drop the hot take here, and I don't know if this is gonna be super surprising to you two because you guys know me quite well. Like, the one I resonated most with, I would say, is probably Misato. Actually, like on my rewatch here.
Okay.
Just for the reasons I kind of said, like she kind of feels like, first of all, she's an adult. She's a person who's like basically like grinning and bearing through life, which is just like, I feel like that's kind of how I've learned to live my life. Is you just kind of just do it. You just get in the robot, basically. And like, I just think that's super like an interesting perspective to show in anime, is that she's not necessarily like what's what's like in a real robot show, like we talked about in the first half, like a Ultraman or something, the Kiro's like super enthusiastic, a kick butt and stuff. But Misato's kind of just like doing her job essentially through the whole thing, you know? Like she just kind of like just does her job and kind of like doesn't really love it, but kind of doesn't really hate it and kind of just wants to do a good job. And like she just felt like a very real and like raw character to me that I really appreciated.
One thing
probably my favorite character on my rewatch, to be honest with you.
One thing I do just want to say, now I just thought of it as a rebuttal to Jay, with her like not really knowing how to like deal with Shinji. It's because she just doesn't know how. She doesn't know how to deal with.
Yeah, but that doesn't make her a good person.
No. It doesn't make her a good person, but I don't think that makes her a bad person either.
Well, it makes me not like her.
It's fair though. Like the thing is like you can not like someone, right? Like that's a personal opinion. But like I think she's a well-written character, even though she does some deeply flawed
she's a terribly written character.
You just
don't
don't
like her.
Yeah.
The question was not how.
I just want my friends
who's a terribly written character. The question was, which character do you not resonate with?
I just want my friends to like my waifu. You know, like that's all. That's all.
She is waifu. Yeah. She's a pretty nice girl. I understand the other teenage boys ogling over her constantly. It's nice.
Yeah.
And she's also, like I said, a thoughtful character. The character I honestly resonated the least with is probably Shinji, to be honest with you, because it's just not who I am. I don't know. Like I just can't picture. Like I said, like I'm more of the just okay. I don't want to do this, but I'm just going to do it. I'll just keep pushing through. And I feel like that side of me just does not get Shinji. You know what I mean? I feel like I squished the Shinji down inside of me and locked him in a box and he's gone away.
Very healthy.
I think that's super healthy, but like it hasn't hurt me to this point. So maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I had a hard time, honestly. And between Shinji and Rei, I really had a hard time understanding them, I would say. And then Asuka's kind of a wild card because she's just like, I get where she's coming from, but she's just so kind of obnoxious that it's kind of hard to.
Asuka comes into like our next point, which is mine.
Do you want to introduce your point?
Yeah, sure. Are the characters overhated, or for that matter, overanalyzed?
Cole, I want you to read that statement as written. Actually,
no,
I knew Jay was going to do this.
I'm not. Because I don't. Jay, you.
Cole always sends his questions in very like super bad punctuation, grammar, and spelling, the trifecta. So that's why Jay's calling him out, which is fair. Cole, why are the characters overhated or not overhated?
What I was alluding to specifically was Shinji, of course, the famous Get in the Robot Shinji. Asuka as well, because people hate Asuka. And apparently now Misato, Jay.
The first person I've ever heard of not liking Misato.
So I went into Evangelion hearing so many people say like, "Oh, Misato's the best. I love her." Cole specifically, going like, Misato's my favorite character of all time. I love her. She's the best. And like, she was so mean
that Cole is representative. To be fair,
no. I am a unique butterfly.
Yeah,
I am a unique butterfly.
But at the same time, like I've heard nobody say bad things about Misato.
Like I've never heard bad things either.
Mike, you did say like, oh, Cole's not representative, but you didn't argue with him whenever like he glazed Misato or anything.
Well, about specifically Misato, sure. She's great.
So like I went into it being like, oh, Misato's probably great, right? And then like just like seeing her treat Shinji, who's like clearly depressed and clearly does not want to be there, and I was like, this ain't it.
In her defense, they needed him at that moment.
Like that's the part that I have a hard time emphasizing, empathizing with. It's like if he doesn't do that, sure he doesn't want to, sure it's hurting him mentally, but like I feel like the part of me would just be like, no, the world ends if I don't do this.
But that's the thing. He doesn't care.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can't imagine not caring about that.
I've been there.
Which is great.
Like,
but at the same time,
like what will be, will be.
Ray was there.
Which, again, meme moment. Like, when they roll Ray out, I laughed because it's so memed to death now.
I laughed too.
She's literally in a hospital bed bleeding.
Bandages.
But yes, Cole, I don't want to skip over your question.
Yes.
Are the characters overhated, or for that matter, overanalyzed? Let's analyze, is what you asked.
Yes.
I'll point out that's not a question.
I think the main thing is Shinji. Like, can you understand now, having rewatched it, Mike, having watched more of it, Jay, why Shinji is hesitant to get in the robot?
So this kind of goes into my question a little bit, but like he's only really hesitant at the beginning because he gets in the robot a lot, like throughout the last quarter of the show.
Yeah,
like every episode, there's no real argument until he has this like big main thing that like that is pretty much called the temper tantrum, and like then he comes back and he's in the robot every episode after that.
He always gets in the robot when they tell him to get in the robot. He just throws like a tantrum before. And I do think maybe, Jay, it'd be a good point to just, since we're already talking about it, maybe you want to read out your question or your discussion prompt as like a weird
one so like one major critique a lot of fans throw at Evangelion is the desire to see Shinji get in the robot and basically not be like a whiny quote unquote baby about it. And so this is kind of a 3-part question of like, why do people say it? Is it warranted? Why and why not? And like, should this critique be taken seriously when deciding whether or not to check out the show?
I think the term "get in the robot" shouldn't be taken literally. It's not Shinji get in the robot, because you guys are right. It's really only that first episode where he doesn't get in the robot. It's Shinji stop being a baby.
That's really what it is.
I think that's really what the question comes down to, which to me is pretty insensitive, because I've said it before. I'll say it again. Every time Shinji gets in that damn robot and goes out and fights angels, bad shit happens.
Well, it's not even that. It's like he even says later on in the show, like, I didn't want to do this because like I came back because I don't like my father. I didn't want to do this for him. And he only did it because
I took that line as him telling himself that. I think he came back specifically
I think like there were two sides to him of like, I want to do this, but also I don't want to do this. And that kind of led to like a conflicting feeling, but like he was never overly enthusiastic about getting in the robot.
No. Nor should he have been.
Yeah, nor should he have been.
Yeah.
And it's not just because like something bad would happen, but just like he also has a lot of problems with his dad, and like does he want to play? Is he doing it just to please him, or is he doing it like because he genuinely wants to? And like that, like those thoughts are tough to deal with.
Yeah, put yourself in the situation he's in. He's essentially an abandoned child, receives a call from his father to come and see him, doesn't really know why, shows up and says, the only reason you're here is because I need you to do this, and you're the only person who can do it.
Doesn't even care about him as a person.
You are expendable. Like, the fact that you're my son is irrelevant. Like, it doesn't really make me want to go out and fight for this guy,
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
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 It's like,
I think that's a very valid point. And like, I feel like I did see that more on my second watch. And like, maybe that's just I've matured as an anime watcher. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe I'm older. I don't know. I kind of see the nuances of that now. Yeah. Because I definitely was one of the people who was, I feel like I've never said get in the robot other than a meme. Because I don't think he even says that in the show, to be clear.
No, they don't.
No, it's kind of like the Luke, I am your father. Like, he doesn't say that.
Yeah.
They're urging him to get in the robot, but they're
saying, just get in the damn robot, Shinji. Shut up. Just go.
Yeah.
And I do still feel that a little bit, but I think I can also like, I feel for this poor damaged boy a little more, I think. Yeah. And like, is it warranted? I think, because that's kind of the point a little bit too, is that like this, I think when Anno was making Shinji, not only was he throwing himself into Shinji, but I think he wanted to show a character who is so different than what people are used to. And when something's so different than what you're used to, a natural reaction to that is kind of like I don't want to say anger because that's not the right word, but just kind of like frustration. Like, no, you're not doing the thing that you're supposed to do. You're supposed to get in the you're supposed to get in the robot. You're supposed to fight the bad guys. You're supposed to be this cool badass hero. Why are you not? And that's kind of like you're kind of stepping into.
To be clear, Shinji does get a lot of badass moments in this show.
I mean, yeah, he does. Yeah.
But
do you kind of get what I'm saying? Is that like I think it's kind of scripted for people to get frustrated at him. I think that's kind of the idea.
Whether or not it's supposed, like, I don't think it's supposed to get people upset, but I think like as a result of what it's trying to do, it like people getting upset makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to people just not like this is going to come off as like, you know, me being an elitist, but like there is a certain level of like media illiteracy with some people where they think
a little bit.
If I was there, I would get in the robot. That sounds cool.
Oh, and just people. Some people just aren't empathetic too, right?
Yeah.
Like this. I feel like to understand that you need to empathize with Shinji.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, it depends on what you're going into the show for. Like if you're going into the show, expecting like big action set pieces with big giant robots and your tokusatsu cool stuff, this is going to be upsetting because it's going to be like, no, this isn't what I signed up for.
Yeah, it also doesn't show you the battle, which is I love that. Yeah. I love that the direction in this. Sorry, go ahead.
To basically boil everything down, should this critique be taken seriously?
No.
Like I think it makes sense. Like I think people probably having a warning or just kind of knowing that Shinji's kind of a whiny crybaby, I think that's a good thing. Like I think it might make people less shocked and kind of like Jay, you dropped this show because it wasn't what you expected, and I think that effect also happens for someone who comes into the show expecting the badass action hero. Mm-hmm. So like I think the publicization of Shinji's wimpiness is probably a good thing, but like that's different than being taken seriously. But I feel like I answered your question in a way that's not really answering it, but do you kind of understand what I'm saying?
A little bit. And sorry, go ahead, Cole.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, I've had arguments with people, even at Icon, when we've gone to Icon, being like arguing for Shinji. Like, people know about Shinji, and I can point out that, you know, what I said to you, but like, no, they don't care, which makes me realize something about some people where it's like, if you are aware of Shinji's backstory and you still call him, you still say he's like a whiny little baby, like I don't really appreciate that.
I understand that, but like, I think it's different to like, he is kind of a whiny little baby, but they're just saying there's like, you understand why he is as a different thing.
I don't think he's a whiny, like, he does complain, but like, I wouldn't say he's a baby. Like
it's maybe a little harsh. Yeah.
And at the same time, like, I feel like it's warranted for like, if you don't resonate with shows like this, I think that it's a good point to make you realize like, oh, it's not just like a cool fighting show with cool big robots. And if that is not what you are looking for, then you can skip it. And I think for that purpose, that's fine. But at the same time, like, don't let that necessarily be your deal breaker if you're open to something different from an action show.
Yeah. And then to kind of bring it back to so we sort of we did like 3 layers of this question here a little bit. And to go back into like Cole's original question of like, are the characters overhated or overanalyzed? I'll answer the second one. Are they overanalyzed? Yes, but justifiably so, because the show's super, doesn't really tell you, doesn't give you the answers a lot of the times. And are they overhated? I think that they're overhated just because like they all show the creator what he sees as different sides of him, and they all show his very pessimistic views of all of those sides, and it brings out some pretty visceral reactions in people. And I think that's fair, in my opinion. Like it's not fair, but it makes sense to me that people would react like that.
I feel like this show is the antithesis of an Iyashike, where instead of like it makes you feel good and it's healing and that
this makes everyone feel bad.
This show makes you feel depressed, and it makes like it also makes you reflect on yourself and see kind of like that like your view on yourself isn't the only version of yourself that exists. There's the versions of yourself that like everyone sees of you.
I mean, those are literally. That is literally a plot point in this.
Yeah, that's literally part of what the show is. So like, I feel like forcing people to look at yourself is also a thing that people vehemently reject.
Yeah, holding the mirror up to yourself and seeing yourself in characters that you don't necessarily like. You know, like Asuka's bratty, but like, she just doesn't know how to express herself. That's what it comes down to. And like, you know, all of us, sometimes we have those moments where we don't know how to express ourselves. And it's easier to just say, what a brat, than to say, I get it. Sometimes. Asuka is a brat, but...
That's kind of what I would... like. That's kind of what I said with Shinji, is that like... Yeah. Just because you can... Just because there's a reason for it, like you can have sympathy and also admit that you're being a brat. Like,
yeah, I guess I defend Shinji like heavily because some people like just don't seem to listen. You know, like I'll explain that to people and they'll say, I don't care. He's a baby.
Yeah, and I think you're just having conversations with maybe the wrong people.
I feel like
no, I agree.
Yeah.
Well,
like people like some people are going to agree with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like there comes a point when you're arguing with someone that it's okay to say agree to disagree, and that's fine.
Yeah.
No, especially when it comes to whether or not they like a character, for example.
I'm just, we're having a conversation. I'm just,
Do you guys think that they're overanalyzed though? I feel like we've definitely covered the first part of your question, Cole, and I just want to quickly make sure we address the second part. And you say sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah. Specifically with Evangelion, are like the relationship analysis between different characters. Just like look it up.
Romantic relationship?
Yeah, just look it up. It's ridiculous. It's insane.
Who's your favorite pairing for Shinji? Do you like Asuka? Do you like Rei? Do you like Kaoru? Or do you like Misato?
Not Misato. to be clear, not Misato.
He only kisses 2 of those 4, to be clear.
I would probably say Asuka, to be honest. Rei is more... Rei, he sees too much of his mother in.
But at the same time, like, the show kind of sets a precedent that's, like, an attractive quality.
Oedipus complex, the television show.
Yeah, because Misato does that with Kaji.
Oh, yeah.
One of the other inspirations definitely is, I bet you, Anno was definitely reading some philosophy or like Freud type stuff for sure.
For sure.
The
Kaoru aspect, I don't know, like if Shinji is bi or what, which is an argument that you see online often.
Yeah.
Or he just, he's never had somebody be so openly affectionate with him. And that just...
I think that's my take on it, actually.
He literally says in the show, I've never had someone say they like me before. Mm-hmm. And he's happy by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would say Asuka. I think Asuka.
Yeah. I don't think Shinji knows how he feels towards Kaoru. I think he's very confused by that. But
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's a plot point too. Okay, moving on to the production stuff.
Yes, you guys got to answer the... You guys got to answer that. Yeah.
Oh, like what's the best ship?
Yeah.
Oh.
You made me do it.
Shinji and Unit 1 would be my answer.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. He literally gets inside it every episode.
Oedipus complex.
Yeah.
I would say Shinji with no one, because like, and the show kind of talks
Shinji
about
with
this.
a therapist.
How can you love people if you don't love yourself?
True.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Yeah. That's the real lesson to be taken. Well said, Jay.
It's the universal struggle for
Well, that's the show literally says that. I can't take credit for it.
Oh no! It literally, it's everything we're talking about. It pretty well literally says if you're like paying attention through all the flashing things that happen.
Yeah. Anyway,
now am I allowed to talk about production, Cole?
Yes.
Now we can move on to production.
All right. So Cole, this is one from you here, and I'm going to read it verbatim to please Jay. Obviously, Evangelion is known for some of its unique direction choices that aren't common in modern anime, i.e. still shots. Do they still hold up?
What was wrong with that?
It's spelled with an apostrophe.
Huh?
That's it is.
Oh, yeah, okay. Whatever. Jesus.
Possessive really? Is without an apostrophe,
I know.
Actually.
I'll even go that's a little nitpicky.
It's probably spell check.
Hey, I wouldn't have brought it up if Mike didn't say I'm going to do it
I'm going to give you both knuckle
and then
sandwiches.
Cole said, what's wrong with it?
I welcome your knuckle sandwich. Get in your robot, Cole.
Anyway, what's the question?
I'll let you answer it first, though, Cole, since it's your question.
I love it. I love the still shots. I love these moments in the show where people critique, the elevator scene, like, do we really need like 40 seconds of stillness? Or
is it 40 seconds?
Something like that. Or even worse is the one where with Kaoru, I won't go into any more details than that, where it's like 2 minutes of just like nothing. I really like it. It's super awkward, and it really like makes you sit in that awkwardness. It is like cathartic.
So I agree to a certain extent. I think that like it holding on that moment is fine. I just think it does it for too long.
I like that. I like that moment where you're like, are they ever gonna do anything? Like, I'm stuck here with them, I'm stuck here in this elevator with these two girls who hate each other. And like, I just gotta sit here and watch. And I know the meta reason they were just filling time. I understand that, but they do it in a good way, and I love it. It's
one of those weird things where like my like current brain that knows so much about like anime and media and stuff would be like, well, you could at least like have it panning, or you could at least have like a couple shots and still have it in like the elevator scene, or have it with the Kaoru scene where it like lingers on him for like a super long time. And you could like show like maybe a couple different angles maybe. But then in the back of my head, I'm kind of like, honestly, I think just having it be, I think there's something to be said about the stumbling into of just having it be super awkward. And you just sit there and you're like, oh God. I do think it is too long, I will say. And frankly, I did watch a good chunk of this show to be fully 100% transparent. The listeners, you're allowed to just absolutely pitchfork me for this one and disregard everything I say. I watched it at 1.25 speed for a lot of this watch through. Because it improved the anime quite a bit in lots of ways.
The Kaoru one is too long. I understand what they're saying, where Shinji's like reckoning with himself. He's really considering what his next move should be. I am a defender of the elevator scene. I'm a hardcore defender. The elevator scene's always
perfect, actually.
I was less harsh on the elevator scene, but the Kaoru scene in particular.
It's very long.
Kaoru scene's too long. That one is,
I literally went to check the bar and see like, is my internet acting up?
Yeah, because there's no movement at all. At least with the elevator scene, there's this one point where like Asuka kind of like sniffles or something like that. The Kaoru one, it's like 2 minutes of nothing happening.
Yeah, for me, like, I think holding on a shot is fine because it builds tension, right?
Exactly.
But it gets to a point where it's like you build up too much tension that like you get to the point where it should crescendo and it keeps going, and it's like, okay, my interest is gone.
It takes you out of it.
Yeah, it's a little too long for specifically some of them.
I do kind of like the pseudo jump scare at the end of it though, where it finally does cut, and that tension that you've been building on for the last couple minutes is finally released. But I don't know if the buildup is worth that payoff. You probably could have gotten away with like half of it and still had the same reaction.
Yeah.
Even like a couple like 10 seconds cut off, I'd be like,
people don't realize how long like these. Like 10 seconds is a long time of just staring at a still image.
Like you're saying, I think the Kaoru thing is 2 minutes. I think it was probably closer to like, I bet you it's under a minute if you actually time it, honestly.
I put it on 2 speed and it was long.
Oh, jeez. Netflix, by the way, shout out to Netflix for letting you speed it up. I
didn't put anything on
2
times speed, to be clear.
Yeah.
2 times is too fast for me. I'll do 1.2.
It was that one scene. Because I knew I knew how long that scene was.
You knew we were missing nothing.
And so to to be clear, the scene sets up of like Shinji being like, do I do this or do I not do this? And holding on that specific moment, you're in there like wondering what's he going to do? Is he going to do it or isn't he? So like, that's fine. It's just, it went on for too long.
That one's too long.
Agreed. Yeah. Good summation. Kind of a tangent off of that one is like, in general, do you feel like the visual aspects of this 30-year-old anime still hold up now in 2020? Like Demon Slayer's come out, like all these like really incredible looking anime have come out. Do you feel like this has aged well in this current anime landscape of like incredibly well produced anime? I'll go first, I guess. And honestly, yeah. I think it definitely has like this retro charm to it. Like you're not, honestly, there are times when like the jankiness of like the limited production value of this anime of Evangelion do come out. That kind of like hampers a bit of my enjoyment, where I'm kind of like, oh, I wish they would have done a little more in this thing. I wish they would have just had a little more. And that's where like the rebuilds kind of come in. But like there's a bit of like, there's just so much charm to the original anime that it's just kind of like Anno just accidentally created his diamond in the rough that was forged under the pressure of having no money. That's kind of just how I feel about it. And I think if it was better done, if it just would have been just like 10% more frames or something, I think it would have been like an undisputed great, all-time great, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm curious what you guys have to say, and I can see Cole queuing up a thought, so...
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, this show is kind of the like what should be shown as like when you don't have budget or time, you can still use that to your advantage.
Yeah, like the economy too of it all.
The elevator scene again, not to belabor a point, but does it hold up though? Still, there are some moments where it's clearly an old show that's hand-drawn and hand-painted and everything, which, despite what people say, sometimes it doesn't look as good as modern digitally animated shows.
There's literally like one, like I think it's like one frame of like a, what's the word for it? But like an unfinished animation thing.
Cell?
And it's like an unfinished cell of like Gendo, where it's like, it's like quickly flashing through a different, like many different, things of Gendo, but like it works in that context.
They're charming. Mike said it.
Yeah.
It's charming to watch like a retro anime. That said, there is some beautiful stuff in this show. Like absolutely gorgeous that I would hold up against like any modern show. Some of the action scenes are really great. There's that one scene where Asuka and Rei are like arguing on like that boardwalk or something, and it's just their silhouettes, but their like eyes are still lit up. So cool. Like
they're like those wide shots of like conversations that remind me of those wide shots in The Prince of Egypt.
Yeah. Like there's some great stuff in this, and it just really goes to show how good of a director Hideaki Anno is.
He's definitely got a great eye for what makes for an interesting shot composition anyway. Like even just like one of the first scenes you see in the anime where like it's the Unit 1 in the pool of LCL or whatever. And it's just like, it's just such a, like having it in that, just towering over them, looking at them like that. It's just like such a iconic, there's so many iconic shots in it that it's just, and like that just turns the charm up to 11.
Yeah.
Did you guys have more that you wanted to say?
The only thing that I would kind of critique is like, it plays like these opera like angelic songs that are like, I think they're royalty free songs.
That's probably what it was. Yeah.
But like, and like they're songs you've heard like in many different movies and other pieces of media, but like
probably because
they're free. That like just took me out of it because they're so silly. Meanwhile, like Asuka's getting her like her psyche attacked by an angel.
I kind of liked it actually, to be honest with you.
That one I'll forgive because it's supposed to be like biblical, but it's, I know what you mean.
It works. It kind of works, but I agree that they probably could have made a better choice. I'll give you that.
It's too terrestrial.
And this one's like just a me thing, and probably because of the gravitas that Evangelion has now. But the Misato theme that plays whenever you're in Misato's apartment.
You dare!
Took me out of it.
No,
but like that's just because it's
That's
just because it's played in like so many different YouTube videos and like things like that. That it's like
I know what you're saying.
It's just like I've heard this so many times. And
the
now
Misato theme and the
so
Asuka theme.
Yeah,
both of those. Are very memeable.
Yeah,
but like the Misato theme, instantly it's like, okay, she's gonna crack a beer. She's gonna do the thing where she goes,
Yeah.
Oh, that made me cringe. And like I get that that's the point, but like I still cringe.
What do you like, Jay? These are these are some of the most beautiful things in life.
Yeah. Misato enjoying a cool, crisp Yebisu beer.
Yeah,
lots of
time.
Lots of product placement in Evangelion too.
Wow, they had to make some money somehow. They honestly, I bet you they thought this was not going to be a success at all. So
probably.
Okay, quick one about the plot here. So this is kind of like there's a really famous quote that Anno said kind of shortly after this came out. And I'm going to kind of condense it a little bit because I'm going to cut out the middle because I don't think it's super relevant to the discussion. But the quote is, Evangelion is like a puzzle, you know. Any person can see it and give his or her own answer. In other words, we're offering viewers to think for themselves. Cut out the middle. Don't expect to get answers from someone. Don't expect to be catered to all the time. We all have to find our own answers. So like with that kind of pretentious ass quote in mind, do you think like a show like choosing not to hold its audience's hand and sort of force feed them from a fire hose with information and kind of just let them figure out their stuff is like do you like that? Is that valid? Or do you think it's just kind of a convenient thing that you can do to sort of let them figure it out? I don't really know what I was doing, but I'm sure they're going to analyze it really good, like a middle school English assignment. And I feel like I'm going to throw it again to Jay because I've done it all episode. I might as well do it again.
Okay. I think it depends. I think in this situation it works because there's a lot here to digest from the ending and a lot here to think on. But I think the big pitfall of letting your audience figure out what happened for themselves is that they will critique the show based on what they think happened rather than like what you might have or might not have intended. In the sense of like, you know, like they might think like, oh, so like this happened when like that was not an intention at all. And so like to leave it ambiguous is, I'd say, a double-edged sword.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah. I will say I don't think it's a creator abandoning the responsibility. I think it's valid. I think there is room to tell a story where it's like open-ended. You know,
I think at the end of Inception is like the most obvious open-ended ending, and I think that ending in and of itself makes the ending more impactful because it leaves you thinking whether or not it was a dream.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What I will say is, again, this is old man shakes fist at cloud. In today's media society, it's a lot harder to do this. You watch shows on Netflix that are made now, and like there's a clip going around of Matt Damon talking about how he was producing a show for Netflix, and the producers were telling him, you know, when you make a movie, you have an action set piece in the first part, second part, and third part. Netflix said, we need an action set piece in the first 5 minutes, and we need you to write that like you're constantly telling the audience what's happening, because modern audiences cannot pay attention to a movie. So with to produce something that's open-ended where the audience has to kind of really wrestle with it and make decisions for themselves, that's very difficult nowadays. That said, Evangelion came out in 95, and I'm sure this quote was taken closer to that time too. So it was a different time. But I I think it's fine. I agree with it. I think it's a valid storytelling method.
Yeah, I think it goes either way, really. Like it
like if somebody's just being lazy.
Yeah. Like I do think sometimes like Jay used the example at the end of Inception. It's a really famous ambiguous ending, but like you have the faith that I feel like the director's name's skipping my mind right now, but
Christopher Nolan.
It's Christopher Nolan. You have the faith that Christopher Nolan put a lot of thought into leaving that ambiguous. You know, he put like potential answers everywhere that you can choose to believe that's one way or the other. And like either side, he wrote it in a way that either side's plausible. I think Evangelion does it both well and also not well. If we're talking about Evangelion proper, just the original 26 episode run, I think it does a good job of leaving a lot of the stuff with the angels and like Nerve and Geen or whatever the hell the other. There's like 17 different government entities involved in this somehow, and like the Dead Sea Scrolls and all this other random stuff they bring up. I think they do a good job of kind of just like quickly referencing that stuff and kind of just moving on, because it's kind of just like if they went into a lore dump and explained this whole thing, it's kind of, you can do your research, you can learn what the Dead Sea Scrolls are, and you can kind of make your assumptions based on that if you wanted to. But are they really relevant to the plot of Evangelion? No. I think you can leave that open-ended pretty successfully. The part that I think that Evangelion does a bad job of leaving it ambiguous and open-ended is, I think, specifically the final 2 episodes of the original run. I think it goes a little too far off the deep end. And like that's sort of why End of Evangelion was made, is because like people viscerally reacted to like, this is an incredibly avant-garde ending to something, and just most people, simpletons like me, that
Mike,
just is honestly just upsetting. It's just like, I don't know what the heck just happened.
Mike, remember when you said, "Hey Jay, what do you like?" I like the ending.
What?
I loved it.
You are the opposite person to me, Jay, and we are learning this every time we record this podcast.
What did you like about it?
Yeah.
Well, like
without spoiling it, to be clear.
Yeah. I feel like it gave a resolution to, for me, the main thesis point of that Hideaki Anno was trying to present with depression and dealing with it.
Okay. Yeah. I get that. But like I'm surprised you weren't like, the screaming that I had in my head is like, but like, what happened? What happened to the world? Like,
I don't think that's the point, because like the show kind of says like that world is a potential world that you came up with, and like the world is how you see it.
Yeah,
it's not. Okay. It's not what it is.
I really
without getting too deep into it, because I don't want to spoil it. So
yeah, I really do think the ending of the anime is super ambiguous. Hot take, I know.
That's wow.
No, I think I'm the one with the hot take here, is saying I get it, and I think I don't need End of Evangelion to.
I think I'm somewhere in between you two, because I do enjoy the ending of Evangelion, but I think End of Evangelion does a much better job of explaining what's happening.
I think if they just spliced End of Evangelion and like, I think that the problem is that they're just like, they both do too much of either end, and I think if somewhere in the middle ground's good.
Here's the Cole watch order. Watch episodes 1 through 24 of Neon Genesis Evangelion,
then watch End of Evangelion. Honestly, I think that would be my recommended order as well. I feel like that'd be more satisfying for me as well, because I do enjoy the end of the original run of Evangelion as well, from like the aspects Jay said. I just found like, if I was watching it week to week and that happened, I'd just be like, what?
I think if personally, if I treated the final 2 episodes of Evangelion,
so confusing. The End of Evangelion. She has a different name for the movie.
Well, it's the end of Evangelion.
I mean, it is. Yeah.
It's if I treated those 2 episodes as auxiliary pieces, as opposed to the movie as an auxiliary piece, I think I'm happier. But to me, I do enjoy the experiment, like the experiment that is the final 2 episodes of Evangelion.
So to me, I felt like the like angels and all that was just like auxiliary to the main story it was trying to tell about depression. Yeah. Because like this, like we discussed, this spawned from his depression working on what's it called? Oh God, it's escaping me now. Nadia, The Secret of Blue Water. Thank you, for figuring that out. Because he wasn't given full creative liberties to do whatever he wants with the show, and it made him depressed. So he then moved on to work on this show, which he had full creative liberties to work on.
Yeah.
So I liked that he got to tell his depression story in the way that he wanted to, and that I feel like it resolved all those questions in the way that made sense.
There's two parts of Evangelion. There's the part that Jay just described, the psychoanalysis of Hideaki Anno, and I think it's just a good anime as well.
This is the part that I was hiding and the part that I wanted to get to. To me, Evangelion is a Hideaki Anno biopic.
Sure.
I mean, you're not the first person to say that, I wouldn't say.
So all of the characters are very, very similar, and I think that they're all just different sides of Hideaki Anno because they all have parental issues and other things that are going on that Anno also had.
You know what, Jake? Let me ask you a question. How much of Hideaki Anno's personality and mental state can you glean from watching Eva?
Great questions. Great question.
Yeah. Just came up with it on the fly here.
Yeah, a lot of it.
That was Jay's final question for the episode.
Like I said, it's a this is an Anno biopic.
Totally is.
It's essentially in the same way that like Boy and the Heron was a pseudo biopic for Miyazaki. It's it's a deep dive into Hideaki Anno.
Like I look at the Getting the Robot kind of thing as kind of like a like the series main conceit of higher ups getting Anno to keep working on Nadia.
Yeah, shut up and make the show kind of thing. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Totally.
And like there's a part in the show where like Shinji's just like kind of robotic in the Eva, just doing his thing, and that made me think of like Anno just being like, I have no passion for this anymore. I'm just doing it.
Yeah, he's just animating it as he's instructed to do. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think you're nailing it on the head there, Jay. And I do think that like that's what makes it so compelling is because he deeply understands. Like I truly think like when you take Shinji, Asuka, and like basically all of the characters in this, he almost like extrapolated them from his own soul almost from like different facets of his part, and then that's why he can like write them in a way that's so compelling because he knows what he doesn't like about them. He doesn't know what he doesn't like about himself. He knows what he does like about himself, and he can kind of it gives them a lot of depth, and I think that's really
like well, I mean, he also like says like there are many different versions of yourself. Like there's the way you see yourself, there's the way other people see yourself, and that's kind of exemplified in all of the characters because they're all different versions of kind of the same character in a way.
It's a 26 episode long therapy session for Hideaki.
Kind of, because that's kind of like the realization that you come to get you out of the depression is like, oh, this like loser that I think I am only lives in my head, but I can change that. And that's sort of like the message of Evangelion. So.
Because that's kind of the conclusion he comes to is like your world changes depending on how you see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like literally. Yeah. You can change your containment field at will, Jay. You know that
your AT field.
You can change your AT field. Yeah.
Sub or dub, Jay?
Sub all the way.
Yeah, Mike.
I did both. When I can't do the dub in 1.25 speed. Because it just
fair, valid, yeah.
But I really love the dub. Honestly, I love the dub for you.
I like the
sub's
new
good
dub.
too. The problem that I have with the sub is that it's just such low quality, like literal quality, that like there's static and stuff that comes through that I didn't enjoy. Maybe it was just what I was listening to on. And it's
I was watching a Blu-ray, so it was as pristine.
You have this on Blu? You have this in the Blu-ray?
Got it right here.
Oh, I didn't even see it. How many times are we going to point to it?
Well, I mean, you obviously didn't know about it.
I didn't know about it. I thought that was one of the rebuild movies, to be honest with you.
I flipped a little bit back and forth. I've watched both, and I like the Netflix dub. I think they did a good job.
I think they did a really good job.
I like the new Shinji voice. I like everybody's voices. Of course, Spike Spencer is still great as Shinji, the original Shinji. But I think they're all valid and good.
My only complaint with the sub is that like sometimes it'll change how it presents certain words. Like it'll like when it first started, it would say Commander Ikari, and then like it would abbreviate it for some episodes, and then it would go back to Commander Ikari.
That must have just been the version that you were watching, because
I'm assuming you watch it on Netflix.
I think it would always say.
Yeah.
I thought it would always say
Commander. The issue I had with the flipping between the sub and the dub is sometimes I would have it so that the subs were left on, especially when there was like flashing walls of text a la Monogatari style. Another thing influenced by this. Because for some reason the dub, if you watch the dub without the subs on, it won't translate the walls of text. And I'm just like, it's so annoying. But then if you leave the subs on, they're like translating the Japanese literally, and they're not captions, they're subtitles, and it's just
quite working. Yeah.
It just gets weird. But I think that's a good place to leave it at. We could literally talk about this anime for probably 5 hours, genuinely. Yeah. And if you want, there's
to talk about.
Hundreds of hours, if not thousands of hours of other people talking about Evangelion on YouTube. But I think it's time for the three of us, in true AniPro order, to reveal our personal AniPro final thoughts and ratings of this show, this giant of the mecha genre and anime in general. Cool.
Certified, obviously. I alluded to it. This was a rewatch for me to kind of rediscover Evangelion, and I remembered why I enjoyed it so much. I think it's such a creative directorial vision, in addition to a deep dive into one man's psyche through fiction, through the psychoanalysis of characters that he created. It truly deserves its place kind of in the pantheon of modern anime. And what more could I say about Neon Genesis Evangelion? It's certified. It's a certified anime. Yeah.
I misspoke, by the way. It's not AniPro order because I suggested this one. So Jay, actually, it's your turn.
Close to AniPro order.
It's almost. I really like this show. Evangelion was something that I had always eluded me, and to finally be able to say I finished it is I'm pleased that I enjoyed it as much as I did. It does have a couple pacing issues, and like I feel like I didn't really like love the angel motif really, or like the biblical motif or anything. But the part that really resonated with me was the psychoanalysis and biopic aspect of it that really delved into Hideaki Anno's psyche through all of his characters. And you can spend like decades analyzing these characters and their thoughts and behavioral patterns and that. But what a fascinating thing. And to be able to get full creative freedom and to be able to present that in the way that the creative intended it without like studio interference or that, aside from like budget, really, I have to applaud that too. At the end of the day, I don't know quite yet if I could certify it. I think like I might need time to let it marinate, but it definitely tickled my jimmies.
Yeah. I think that's very fair and very well said, the two of you. And like honestly, like we always say at the end of this, you've said it all. You really have
said it all.
Yeah. And honestly, though, Evangelion it's a super dense anime for how sparsely produced it is, honestly. Like there's so much information that you can choose to dive into or not dive into if you want to. Like you can choose to watch this as just purely like a metaphysical thing. You can choose to watch it as just like an exploration of depression. You can choose to watch it as a post-apocalyptic world is at the brink of defeat anime. And you can kind of Rorschach test it a little bit. You can kind of get what you want out of this show. And I think for that reason, a lot of people, it's a lot of fun to talk about. It's a lot of fun to find people who've watched Evangelion and talk about their impressions are. I think that's kind of one of the things that keeps it living on and why it's so iconic in the industry and why it's lived on after all these years. the other thing is just like the characters in this really are just so interesting and deep and thought provoking that like it just amplifies the charm up to 11 because you really feel like these are people. Well, most of them anyway that actually are people. I mean, technically they're all human. I think is the thing they say at the end. But anyway, I think I would be remiss to give it anything other than a certified, even though it's not my favorite anime by any stretch. But rewatching this, I really felt like almost this anime is best served by watching it twice. Like you really appreciate it a lot more on a rewatch, I feel like. And I'm glad to hear Cole say that a little bit. And Jay, you kind of like pseudo rewatched it because you got like 70% through it. So like, I really feel like you can, once you kind of like dip your toes in it and you kind of like already know what you're getting into, you can kind of sit back and kind of like actually take a little bit more of it in. And I think every time you watch it, you probably do get a little more out of it. So yeah, certified for me. And that's 2 certifies and a strong tickling of the jimmies of Jay. So that's a pretty good. That's a pretty high recommendation factor from the old AniPro podcast.
Yes.
And since we're all done with that, I will so graciously hand over the reins back to the host of AniPro.
Thank you.
The most.
Thank you. We alluded to it. There's a million things to say about Evangelion. Jay said you could spend 10 years discussing it, and trust me, people have.
People spend 30 years discussing it.
Yeah.
I said decades, plural, not a decade.
Yeah. You can discuss it with us. Comment in the comments. Come over to our Discord. All of that stuff. Our next anime review is Now and Then, Here and There. That is one singular anime. It's not a list of anime. And our next manga review is Akane Banashi. Akane Banashi is our next manga review. So look forward to those. And thank you so much for listening to another episode of AniPro. If you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend about us. If you really like us, why don't you consider supporting us on Patreon like these lovely people, Mr. Family Guy 36, Elijah Wood, Braindead, B-Dog, Peach, Frama, Kratos, Just Juzz, Mogmog, Uncle of Light, Zaffron, Genus 26, and Taco. By supporting us on Patreon, you get access to all sorts of perks, and it really helps out the show. We're also on social media at AniProPod, and please join our Discord community to keep up with us and other listeners. Links to everything is in the description or at our website, AniProPod.com. Jay, welcome to the Church of Neon Genesis Evangelion. I would ask you as your first duty as a newly
it's my first time ever ending the show and leading us in a round of bye-byes. So instead of saying bye-bye, I'm gonna subvert your expectations and say omedetou.
Congratulations.
Cole, you got to do the thing. Mike did it.
Yeah, congratulations.
There you go. Now you're joining in. Thank you so much.
Trying to press the button. This button.
You can talk and
I can't clap and press.
Yeah, but you can say congratulations and press.
I need to go.